favorite kind of Aaron Rodgers. He is not in a good mood. They were blown out. Strangely, again, last 5 losses all been blowouts. That's kind of odd. Anywho, Aaron was snippy with the very nice Midwestern media. These are flannel shirt-wearing people, flyover country, and Aaron got very coastal. He got very snippy. Here's the first example.
Hey, Aaron, do you think, based on how Tampa defended you, that teams, have a better handle on the maturation of year 1 to year 2 of your offense?
So because of one game, what is it that you're implying, Mark?
Are teams figuring you out?
1 out of 5.
It wasn't the best question. It did not end there. He got snippy again moments later from a very nice Midwestern reporter just doing their job, have their backpack and their pens and paper and pencil, just asking questions to an American icon. Here we go.
Are you okay?
Yeah, Rob, fine.
You just seem a little down in the dumps is all.
I'm definitely not down in the dumps, so don't project that onto me, because that's not a reality.
It's my favorite kind of Aaron. Oh, he's getting snippy. This is interesting. So the NFL's got a bunch of young quarterbacks, and they're a little more inconsistent. Then it's got a bunch of old guys, and they got some limitations. But there's 2 great quarterbacks right in the middle. They're not young, they're not old, and they're icons, and they're first-ballot Hall of Famers. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. They're about as good as you're going to see. I've never seen a runaround quarterback as good as Russell, and I'm not sure I've seen anybody but Dan Marino throw a ball as well as Aaron Rodgers. Of course, you think I love Russell and I don't like Aaron. That's what you believe. No, I love what Russell Wilson represents. And sometimes Aaron Rodgers drives me nuts by what he represents. And I'll give you an example. I presented a stat this week, and even Packer fans, even people that defend Aaron Rodgers, Trent Dilfer, Doug Gottlieb, and we're all friends, but they're like, I can't argue your stat. Why does Green Bay get blown out so much with Aaron? And why do they never come from behind? It's bizarre. So let's just talk Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson has a mental strategist. I interviewed him this week on my podcast, Trevor Moawad. And he's trying, and it's working last several years, to make Russell Wilson neutral. That's what he has tried to make Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wants to be neutral, meaning no peaks, no valleys, no huge celebrations, no down in the dumps. And I believe Aaron's the opposite. And Green Bay's the opposite. And I believe teams become their quarterback. So with Green Bay, you get these massive blowout wins and a lot of ugly losses. With Aaron Rodgers, you get glib, funny Aaron on the Pat McAfee show, very funny. And you get snippy Aaron. On the field, you get discount double-check Aaron, and then you get, bad body language Aaron. None of these, of course, are deniable. And what does it translate to? Aaron's been blown out 19 times in his career, 10% of his games. Double Russell Wilson, Mr. Neutral. Since the start of last year, Russell's come from behind in the fourth quarter 6 times. 3 times as often as Aaron Rodgers. Because when things are great for Aaron, he is on top of the world, he is condescending, he is glib, he is discount double check. And when they are bad, he is moody and bad body language and snippy, and I don't want to talk about it. Teams become their quarterback. This explains it. Now, Aaron is now in a bad mood, and Green Bay is going to take it out on Houston. Because if you go look at Aaron, Aaron gets really high during the winning streaks. And then last year they go to the Chargers and just get walloped. And Aaron said publicly, we got a little too into ourselves. And then Aaron this year, Green Bay got off to a great start. And then they get beat by Tampa, and Aaron comes out and goes, we got a little too into ourselves. Or maybe, Aaron, you got a little too into you. But you never hear Russell Wilson say that because he's seeking neutral. No peaks, no valleys. This is why Seattle is such a great come-from-behind team. That is why Russell Wilson almost never gets blown out, despite having the last 3 years a horrible offensive line, and this year having the worst defense in the league. teams become their quarterbacks. Aaron's either snippy, celebrating, sulking, fist pumping, blowouts, awful losses, up and down, because that's Aaron's personality. And Russell is neutral. You don't see the highs, you don't see the lows. Remember when he threw that Super Bowl interception? I mean, that's the reality. You become your quarterback. And so Aaron now, snippy Aaron, and I am here for it. And I do believe Green Bay is going to roll this week. But if you're trying to figure out why does Aaron have so few fourth quarter comebacks historically, it makes no sense. Why does this team lose? They get blown out. That's your answer. Moody people, moody teams. Dad's moody, family's moody. Mom's moody, family's moody. Because you have to walk on eggshells for the moody leader of the family or the moody leader of your team. Well, I saw this morning, speaking of the Seahawks. Antonio Brown, who is a marvelous talent at wide receiver, but is difficult. Seattle is one of the teams looking for him. Now, let me start with this. I've always been able to separate art from artist. You can create great music and be an awful human. I can still enjoy your music and think I don't want any part of you to do personally, but you do create great art. I've always been able to separate the two. I'm not looking for perfect artists. I think what creates art is often what creates dysfunction. So I can separate Antonio Brown, not a guy I respect, and Antonio Brown, damn good wide receiver. Secondly, talent is a commodity. We know this. Sports is about winning now, and he can help some teams.